Calling all nerds. This is More Than Dice, the podcast where we dive deep into the realms of everything nerdy. Whether you're a nerd culture connoisseur, a tabletop titan, a miniature gaming marveler, or just someone who proudly embraces their inner geek, this is the podcast for you. And now, let's get to the show.
And welcome to episode 344. Man, this is going to be a big one. It is a hodgepodge day. We are going to be talking about some of the things that have been happening in our life and what we've been doing, and memorable NPCs, because we've been doing a lot of RPG shit. And when I say a lot of RPG shit, we've been doing a lot of RPG shit.
All the nerd shit.
All the nerd shit.
Oh,
So...
yeah.
A lot of it. And if you didn't watch us this last Saturday, we started the session 0 of Nestor's new RPG, Veil of the Lost, where we're doing a Daggerheart game in a Warcrow universe. And so it'll be there, and it is uploaded. You can find it on all the platforms. Video and audio form. But we got to get to the business, and the business is good. So guys, we want to thank TurboDork. TurboDork has been so awesome to us throughout the years. They've been doing a lot of cool things. They got a lot of cool things happening, a lot of cool things going on. They are definitely going to be, showing some new things in the upcoming months or whatever. So make sure you check them out. They've got good metallic paints, cool turbo shifting paints, and all the little accoutrements. I don't know how many times I've used that stupid freaking stir stick that they have. I've used that thing so much. I have one over here for my airbrush station whenever I do an airbrush. Then I have one over here on my paint station. And then I have another one that I use for texture terrain. That I use for moving texture stuff on my tables. So it is awesome. But do we have any shout outs this week, Captain Busy?
I don't recall seeing any.
Neither did I. I don't recall seeing or hearing anything either. But that's all right. Just means we needed to give a shout out to all of our friends out there, because we love y'all. Thanks for listening. Quite a few things have been happening behind the scenes around here that we've been doing some cool stuff, and getting things going. So on and so forth. There will be next July 4th is coming up. We haven't decided if we're going to stream or not. We'll have to get together and do that as a team and see what we think. And then after that, we have the Saturday. We'll be doing a D&D, our Daggerheart game online. We'll be having session 1 with the entire team. And then, of course... the week of the 26th, 90% of us will be in Las Vegas, helping out with our cool friend Breezerker. So we'll be there doing that. So plenty of fun stuff going on. We'll do some
Big
stuff
things happening.
And then of course, we got what Nestor will be doing to Gen Con pretty soon.
Yeah, the week after you guys go to Vegas.
Yeah.
Which is the reason why I won't be in Vegas, because I have to use my PTO for Gen Con.
Yeah. And so when we get back, we'll do a Vegas recap. And then the week after that, Nestor will do a Gen Con recap. And we'll talk about all the Gen Con news.
There'll be a table behind me with all the goodies I've picked up from Gen Con.
That you've had to ship back using UPS.
Yeah, no, and then yep. Oh no, yours will be getting shipped out from Gen Con. Like, I'm not bringing that back. Like, if it fits in a box, it's going. Like, tell me what else you want.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is I really haven't heard a lot of news about Gen Con, about what's coming out. There's been a couple of miniature, we talked about at one point Corvus Bellies, which there's nothing there I need. because everything is just coming out that I would use is going to be the elves, and that'll just be regular releases. I don't think there's anything War Machine related that's going to be they might have a special miniature, but that's about it. I don't know.
Yeah, unless maybe it's the Colossal for Dusk. I'm just guessing. Does
And I
that
wouldn't need
something?
that, so
Yeah,
Meh.
nah.
yeah, like
I
and Josh will be at Gen Con, so that's the one person I know that will be
Yeah.
going for it. Yeah, I can't think of anything. There's probably some stuff for Daggerheart that might be available there. Maybe the GM screen might be available there for pre-purchase.
I already have one. I printed off pages and stuck it in my personal GM screen.
Same, it's right
Shadow
behind me.
Sword has just reminded me that Kithgard is a thing, and they might do a pre-release. So who knows?
They might be.
Which that would be really fucking cool because trolls are the best.
Oh, is that the other army for
Yeah.
trolls? Nice.
Yeah,
Yep.
the Kithgard.
Yep.
So
That would be cool. That would be cool.
we might see that. But let's get to the most important part of the podcast. Nestor, what are you drinking tonight?
What's left of my Diet Coke and a big bottle of water because it is massively hot here in New York. So have to stay hydrated.
Yep. Mizzy, what you got?
I too am staying hydrated, but with some fancy Mountain Valley key lime water.
Is that the new one from yesterday?
Yes. It's half done.
I was having coffee, and then I was like, that's a little too much caffeine, so I'm back to the water now too. So just going to be drinking that right off the bat, and just going to go with water. Guys, we appreciate everything you do. We appreciate you listening. We appreciate you watching. We're going to got a lot of cool stuff going on. Still me streaming like on Wednesdays. We got the RPG coming up, which is going to be almost like an every other weekend. I still have my Rebirth of Souls campaign that's going on. Had to cancel the last one because a family emergency came up. But we got that coming up. Painting. We got tons of stuff. There's plenty of things to talk about and do. So I just got.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that we'll be streaming Rebirth on the 17th if everyone's still good.
Yeah.
So.
We also have talked to one of our artists that is on here, and he has brand new episodes to put, so you'll be able to hear the new episodes that are, if you're listening to us on audio, they'll come up. Pentacles episodes, he says he's got a bunch of them. And then I'm sure that Bill Paint Play is going to be starting back up pretty soon. Their new season will be starting, so we have plenty of stuff. So, yeah. Alan messaged me yesterday and was like, I got more episodes. I'm like, just give me a list, show me where they're at, tell me which ones you want, you give me an order. And he's like, yep. So, and then of course we have Rebirth coming up. So, other than that, as always, if you see something, say something. If you hear something, say something. And if you can do something about it, because we've got to look after each other. Mm-hmm. Cheers.
Hydrate yourself. It's hateful. Refreshing.
Twice. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and switch it over to the paint cam. But before we get to while I'm doing that, I know Bree was in the channel when we were doing this, but Shadow's already listened to our session 0. So if they want to give us a little thing saying y'all are a bunch of fucking weirdos, we're okay with that. You can say that, but we wanted to hear.
I know I'm a weirdo. Thank you. Yeah. I'm a very excited weirdo, and I will own that.
Yeah. You can tell us what you thought or whatever. We'd appreciate it. That actually episode got pretty popular amongst a lot of people for some reason. Don't know why. But Captain Mizzy is going to be doing some painting also.
Yeah.
So look at her fancy putting it over. I am actually going to be working on. This is a witch song miniature. I know it's kind of hard to see because it's all washed out in white. Let me turn off one of the lights real quick. There you
That's
go.
actually it's really nice.
Let me turn off all the lights so you can see it. The sword actually comes out. Blink.
Nice.
Oh yes, that's epic.
Yeah, this is a witch song miniature. I actually had to shrink this down quite a bit for it to fit the size that I want. I'm not going to paint that just yet, so I'm going to turn the lights back on so I can paint. But this is, kind of a. She's going to be a major NPC in my personal Daggerheart in-person game. She is going to be actually. Mizzy hasn't known this yet. Since she's going to be playing, she's going to be the first one to see it. I think there's a couple other people that thought they might watch because they heard something was going to happen. But this is going to be Mother Gaia.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's going to be part of our campaign.
Nice.
I like the
Much
name.
excited.
That's a very nice name.
Yeah. She will be part of the campaign, and she is going to make an appearance in the next session. So, of course, I need to paint her up.
Is she going to tell us what to do?
Oh, no.
Because I kind of need to know what to do.
You know what you need to do. You have to go get that
I gotta
clear
save the
opal.
fucking world.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Yeah,
Hey,
here's
Zach.
this.
We have a Zach from Metalhead Minis.
Hey, Zach. Can't see the chat over here, but yeah, there's going to be you know what to do. This world, this game is exactly just like any anime. Save the cat out of the tree, destroy God. That's pretty much how every Japanese RPG starts out. You save the cat out of the tree, and then your next mission is destroy God.
This is fine. Everything is fine. Totally fine.
I was going to argue that, and then when you said JRPG, I was like, no, he's not wrong.
Nope, not wrong.
Like, you started because you were following a friend to school, and next thing you know, you're fighting a super demon of epic proportions to save the world, and that's how it goes. Like,
Yep. Yep.
Like,
You
like-
start off, like I said, saving a cat out of a tree and then killing God.
yeah, Final Fantasy VII, you were just being eco-terrorists to
Just
stop the
being.
bad guys, just being, and then you go and you fight like an alien species, like that's hell bent on destroying the planet. Like,
Yeah.
you just wanted to stop the corporation. That's all you wanted.
My
I'm grabbing
wants are
some
so
colors
simple.
out.
Yeah, it sounds out simple. It never is.
No, never.
So I am going to paint this with the primary colors are going to be contrast paints. So I'm getting those out right now. And of course, this is all going to be mostly, all earth tones, so on and so forth. No big deal. So I'm kind of trying to grab a bunch of different things. So I can stop it. I really need to move these paints down to the other shelf because I'm having to move my camera or move my monitor too much. But all right, let's go back to it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
gotta, like, my painting station's like right behind me, and like it's split up between like 3 different types of paints: classic acrylic, contrast speed paints, and then like Reaper paints because I still like their triads. So
Yeah, their tries are good.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
yeah,
All right.
actually,
What was it?
like,
Has
they're
anybody?
their blonde, the Reaper blonde hair has been my go-to for like 10 years. It's like dark blonde and then regular blonde and then blonde highlight. Done.
So some people, Bree I don't know if Bree listened to the whole episode or was there the whole time, but Bree did listen to us starting our session 0 and getting our characters made and learning blah, 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 and so on and so forth, which was really good. I thought it was a good time. It was a lot of fun. It was like one of the best, build sessions I've had in a long time. I haven't had a chance to, make a character in a long time to play with everybody, so it was really fun. It'll see something. I do have this right here, though.
¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué es eso? That'll...
It's a puggy.
I was waiting.
It's a baby.
All right, so
It's just a sweet baby.
As it like, the eyes turn red and it floats.
It's just a baby.
So I found this on there. I was like, oh, let me print this off real quick. It was like a 20-second print. It was like 20 minutes on FDM. So I was like, okay, let's just print this off for the funds.
Yeah, Shadow. I was Shadow Sword had mentioned Gonzo. He only made it through the first half, but it sounds like I got a good troop of characters, and it sounds that way as well. It looks really cool with what you guys are building up so far as a relationship, and Josh is just gonna immediately fit right in. So
yeah, which we talked to Josh today, and one of the things that I have to ask Josh is, what do I do that annoys you? And Josh's response is that I don't plan our heist very well. He's like the military-esque of everything, and he doesn't like that I don't plan it well. So I'm like, when we established that So doesn't think I establish our plans very well either.
I see a theme here.
Yeah.
This is fine. Everything is fine.
Everything's fine, and Ribbit's like, I think we're going to leave now. We're leaving Tomlin to do his thing. We're going to go now. we have the jewel that we wanted.
Yes.
Except for Grota stole something they weren't supposed to, and that's why we're on the run.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it.
Look,
Grota.
we all have our weak points, okay?
But that's the fun part, is that I can decide what you stole and how it affects you.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And no, I will not use the death of your character to advance the storyline.
It was so fun, though. Hey, I asked permission before I did that.
You did ask permission, and it got, and I granted said permission because I was already crying about it, and I could not be the only one mourning by myself.
What's interesting is, so I did this 5e one-shot game, and it eventually they finished the story and it just ended. But I was role-playing with some old friends, and the interesting part about this whole thing is I went to Mizzy. I was like, hey, I want to see if we can kill your character. You can make another one, blah, blah, blah. But I want to make it, a huge, nasty, horrible death that, this person, they really haven't messed with them. They're supposed to hate this person a lot. Nobody's done anything with them. And so I want to kidnap you, tie you to the ceiling, and then blow you up and kill you with a fireball. And she was like, what? And I'm like, this is what I want to do.
At first I was like, oh, fuck no. What the hell drugs are you on? Why are you making me feel these things? And then it was, fuck, I'm feeling these things. I can't be the only one to feel these things. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, Shadow, Josh is going to be a guardian of vengeance, or an orc guardian of vengeance. So not only will he be a tank, he'll be a super tank. Actually, I don't know if the vengeance guardian is a tank or is he more martial, like a better fighter. And
they're both. He gets some of the guardian abilities, but he gets a little bit better attacking power type thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw some of that earlier when I was looking at it.
Yeah, they're actually really good too.
I like the Seraph version of sorry, not that's the Seraph is the one that flies. The
Yes.
Yeah.
Guardian is the Paladin. But the Stalwarts one is very nice. But
Yeah.
vengeance shall be mine.
Yeah, he's gonna be playing a Guardian. Got his miniature printing right now, and
Nice.
another miniature built with Eldritch Foundry's tools. And that's gonna go on. Gotta get that going, and we'll show off everybody's character. I actually did a second print of Tomlin, um, a print where he's um, performing, I guess you could say. You know, no weapons and such. He's just performing with his lute.
He's just juggling.
He's jamming out. So that's how we do it.
Valor and Blade are his domains. Oof.
It'll be good.
Blade had some nice ones.
Yeah, and he
I
went
remember
with two-handed warhammer instead of like a sword and shield type thing. He decided to go big weapon.
Makes sense.
Interested to see if he takes I Am Your Shield or not.
Which you can. I mean, if he took
Yeah.
it, it's still usable. You don't have to have a shield to use that ability. It's just
you are the shield.
yeah.
Yeah.
You take it to the face. But I like, you know, that so everybody knows the people that we're playing with. That was our first time, myself and Mizzy meeting Ariel. I mean, she's been in the chat, and you know, we tried to get things going, but that was really our first time meeting her and building the character. And we were building the character, and I thought everything meshed really well.
It
Yes.
felt really natural.
Yeah, we already started. We've already got personalities on how everybody's gonna act and everything, and she's already got a nickname. Part of the things that I got for her, type stuff, and you know, there's already a dynamic of the party already going, type thing, and I thought that was kind of hilarious. You know, myself and Grota are always like, "Yep, this sounds like a good thing. Let's go for it." And we go to do it, and they're like, "Wait, no, well, wait, you have it," and like already the party is going against everything that we tried to figure out, and I'm like, well,
What are you
Yeah.
doing? What do you mean
Yeah.
you want to steal this priceless artifact?
Yeah. It's going
It's
to be
shiny.
the constant don't split the party. We split the party. Why? Well, these two want to steal something. These two want to do the actual mission. So
It's not that I don't want to do the actual mission. I just like shiny things, okay? My frog has a crowbane. I'm not sorry.
and I
So-
just like to get rich.
Exactly. what I like about the Valor domain, besides I Am Your Shield, is Bare Bones.
Oh, Bare Bones
yeah.
is amazing.
Bare Bones is like an automatic yes if I'm doing a Guardian, at least for me. But like I Am Your Shield is very cool.
Yeah,
So-
the Bare Bones, at lower levels, I was testing it out and trying to figure out things on it. And at lower levels, it's really, really good. When you start getting high level armor and stuff, it can go, I wouldn't say not as good, but oh, hell hydrate. Thank you. Bree.
Ooh.
Yeah, because it's already warm. But one of the things that I was testing it out is Bare Bones starting out is really, 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 really good. Nothing wrong with it. But when you start getting all the higher up level armor, it can actually not be as good. But that's the good thing about the game is you just swap that card out.
Right. By level 5 or 6, when you're in tier 3 and you can have more than 5 cards in your hand, you just swap it out for something else that works out very, very well. So
yeah. So, not a big deal.
Oh. Like level 4 support tank. Like spend 2 hope to allow them to re-roll their hope or fear die. Like that's armor. Like these get really very cool. So it's gonna be a lot of fun for sure.
And Josh is in our chat. I can hear it going ka-dink, 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 ka-dink.
Yeah, Nessie, go get your friend.
He's in here just posting up in our game chat right now because he wasn't there, so he's doing all this other stuff.
Yeah, so that's the thing. He said that when I said the 12th, and you guys said, "Oh, he's coming back that day," he's like, "Will do. That time works for me." That's why Mizzy's like, "You sure the 12th?" He's like, "Oh no, sorry, that day doesn't work."
Go get your friend, Nessie.
So I guess we won't be playing on the 12th?
We will not be playing on the 12th.
No, because somebody decided that he has to go to Disney every year.
So do we need to do a
God.
Sunday stream?
It looks like we're gonna probably have to do a Sunday stream if I can
So, as long as
Well-
it works out,
yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah, no, so am I. I gotta find out from Ariel if Sunday works for her.
I mean, we could do it during the podcast. I don't get a problem with that. We could do the podcast
Yeah.
episode. Session 1 is a podcast episode. I ain't got no problem with that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome.
Let's do it.
So
I
check.
need Ariel's confirmation.
So we're gonna do it the 5th, or we?
No, the 13th.
So we're gonna do the 13th then.
Let me
Yeah, work it out. Figure it out between y'all two. I'm good on Saturday and Sunday. I just know that the 12th is it. That was the weekend after that. We're busy.
right, 'cause you're doing yours, your rebirth.
No, that's actually the in-person one.
Oh, okay.
All right, I think.
Shadow Sword, what are you talking about compensating with magic items? Obviously, I'm not paying that close of attention to chat, and I missed where you said that because painting.
Is the bare bones ability. So the bare bones ability, your thresholds are you get a base threshold due to the fact that you're not wearing armor, and so whenever you eventually your magic items will I wouldn't say make it invalid, but it makes it where it's a little bit, not as good. Best way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, bare bones at like tier 1 is like, and this is like no armor.
Yeah.
Your thresholds are 9 and 19, and it progressively goes up by 2 points up until tier 4, when it's like 15 and 38, which is enormous. But then there's other armor out there that will do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I tested it out. I made a lot of characters up to level 10 with just the basic magic items we have right now. And I was able to get above what bare bones is, but that's okay. Because, like I said, you can switch out items. You can switch out your cards. So, you're like, bare bones is not going to be as effective because I found this cool artifact armor. Okay, no problem.
Right. And it's a level 1 card at that. So it's like, okay, something further down the line will help you.
You're definitely going to have better options as you level.
Yeah, and better armor, magic armor, some sort of abilities, as we say, will just take over instead of bare bones. It's just a very good, also you can lose your armor because somebody got captured and you're like, oh crap, I'm gonna use level 1 bare bones.
Yeah, I'm escaping jail. I'm going to use level 1 bare bones.
Yeah. And then people are gonna be like, but and they're like, yeah, but what's your threshold with no armor? And they'll like, oh damn, like
Yeah.
Um,
there's 3 level 1 spells for Valor. So it's like I am your shield and like forceful push. Yeah, there's so many good beginning spells.
I love Forceful Push. I've got that on
Yeah,
my Seraph right now, and it is a whopping good time.
well, and that's something we said in the when we were starting is, we were talking about all of our cool, our first level abilities that we're getting and what we can do, and we're all like, you feel like a badass at first level.
yeah, yeah,
Unlike, D&D, you're like, I rolled a hit. All right, I'm done. And in this one, you feel heroic right off the bat.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things that we were talking about that the game definitely plays into letting you feel heroic.
yeah. It's harder with other games, like Palladium's Rifts. Like I
Oh,
that was a game that I played for so long, and a first level character, nothing. It was a speck in the big world of Rifts. And other games like Cyberpunk, like you started out, but you're really just a thug or a criminal at the low end.
yeah.
So in in a game of like high fantasy, I always loved Final Fantasy, as we talked about earlier, but like games like that, like they start out low, but they're still pretty cool. They still have pretty cool abilities at level 1.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and as they get better, obviously, there's summoning Effort and Blizzard, and they start getting awesome abilities. But like that's how you should be in a role playing game. Like if you're going to be a hero, you should kind of have hero abilities.
You should
Um,
feel like a hero.
yeah, you shouldn't be able to go up and to take out an entire kingdom on yourself at level 1, but you should be able to stop a bunch of thugs robbing somebody in the village.
Yeah.
You're not superhero status, you're Launchpad McQuack status.
You a hero.
Yep. You're not Gizmo Duck heroes status. You're Launchpad McQuack status.
So, which if Metal Admitting Zach is still on the channel, he does a lot of DMing also and does a really good job. I heard a lot of good responses and a lot of things from him on his GM abilities, by the way. And if you haven't picked it up, Zach, please go pick up a copy of Daggerheart. You will enjoy it if you haven't picked it up already.
Yeah, I think he should. And I know he was at Origins, so I don't know if there was a lot of role playing game happening at Origins. Um, but he'll be at Gen Con with Lynn. So and he last year he walked around with a box, and it basically, if it fits, it ships mentality. Um, because they didn't have a bag for what he bought at Free League Publishing. I think he bought like all the Walking Dead books that Free League does. So, and it was a good couple of books, but they gave him a box. So he walked around to other vendors, and he just kept putting stuff in the box throughout the through that Sunday, I think it was a Saturday or Sunday, he would put it in the box. I was like, Zach, what's in the box? He's like, everything that's going home. If it fits, it ships. Like,
That's a good way to do it, honestly.
Oh, I know
it
a lot of
is, and
people that do that.
yeah, yeah, and I think I'm gonna do the same thing with because I have small boxes in my boxes that are going to Gen Con. I think I'm going to do the same thing this year. Like everything on Saturday is getting shipped on Saturday. Like Sunday, if maybe some stuff, but like no, I'm not bringing back as much as I did last. I was 49 pounds when I flew
Holy
back. Yeah,
damn, dude.
49 pounds on in and it was mostly the four role playing game books I bought.
Those some
Um,
beefy heavies.
Josh just said that either the 5th or the 13th will work.
Okay, the fifth won't work because of the party, so it'll probably have to be the 13th.
So that'll be our 13th episode.
Yep.
That the 13th will be a RPG episode and not a podcast episode.
Nice. It wasn't a pop-up shipping station, Shadow. It was, well, I don't know if it is a pop-up, but there is a post office uh in the convention center for Gen Con. So most people like throughout the day go and like fill out the form, fill out whatever, and they'll ship it out. Um, which I think is phenomenal. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that do that. They also are ninja shoppers, and what they do is they'll go buy the product, use that area, and just have people, people will be, buying all their shit for other people, and go, okay, here it is. All right, you pay me X amount of dollars to buy this thing for you, and
Yeah, I haven't. I heard there's a UPS in the Marriott across the street from the convention center. I haven't used it, but I know it's there. I just haven't used it myself. Um, but that's also very busy throughout the convention center. Um, I think if Adepticon did that, that would be phenomenal.
you have a lot of
It'd
ninja
definitely be a game
shoppers.
changer for a lot of people.
It's by the Starbucks near the ballroom games. Yeah, that I know where it's at now. I know where all the Starbucks are, so that's all you need to like. It's north of the Starbucks by 500 feet. That I'll find it. Wait,
Let's see
which
what real
Starbucks?
coffee is.
Yep, of course. I I wish Indiana, and maybe because I haven't traveled outside of the convention center, but I wish the coffee at the convention area was better. Um, by Saturday or Sunday, I'm getting really bad headaches. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and blame that on the coffee and not the lack of hydrating, but yeah, we'll do that.
The answer is both, Nessie.
Yeah, it's very much both.
Both.
Very much both.
But yeah, the character building last night was really fun, really good. We all kind of got into it. We all already have like personality traits and how things are working with each other and so on and so forth. So I thought that was really good. It's going to be really fun. But looks like we'll be doing an episode. Our first episode will be live on air, blah blah blah, and it'll be a podcast episode.
That'll be fun.
Get that going. So one thing we want to talk about, this is a hodgepodge, so anything can come up. But one of the things I did want to bring up, and since you're a GM, hopefully Zach's in there, he can also kind of be in here and talk about it too, is memorable NPCs. Not every NPC has to have this grand background, blah, blah, blah type thing. But, and we're not talking about, BBGs. We're talking about, a prime example. Play Baldur's Gate 3, Voldo. He was very memorable. You know who he is, so on and so forth. and he actually, pops up during the game a lot.
Mm-hmm.
This is like way too bright, even with the color on it. Hold on, I'm going to change the saturation on this. And so, getting these characters, getting an NPC that you want to stick around or that you like, is actually really good for the game. So, hold on a second. Let me try to get this a little bit
I
different.
stepped away.
You stepped away.
No, I'm here negotiating the day for
Oh.
Daggerheart, and I look up and you're gone. I was like, "Where's Gonzo?" Like he was just talking.
Yeah, I figured that's actually way too. Right. Brightness down. Brightness is down as far as I can go.
Okay, okay, we are good for More Than Dice episode. It would probably be what, 346?
345.
No, next week is 345.
Oh yeah, sorry.
It would be the week after. So looks like 346 of More Than Dice would be the Daggerheart episode.
Okay. All right, that's much better. Okay. Fix that camera a little bit. That was way too bright. All right, so let's get back to the NPCs. Not every NPC has to be, a super memorable blah blah blah. Just for the simple fact that, you're gonna spend way too much time making NPCs. But major NPCs need to be, a good story, a good character, good background, so on and so forth. Prime example, the miniature I'm painting now. This is going to be Mother Gaia in my campaign. Mother Earth better be fucking a major NPC and have some good, background information or, something to go along with it so it makes it interesting and whatever. Now, I'm not going to talk about it here because I have one of my players here and they're going to have to learn about it, but this has got to be it. Mizzy, do you have any memorable NPCs that you in your games that you've played in?
I'm trying to think. Um, I did have an encounter with a Furbolg in the Feywilds that was pretty fun and inappropriate.
Inappropriate.
there were shenanigans about. I believe her name was Thrin. That's how I got my my Anke armor.
Gotcha.
So,
But there, if a character, prime example, my gods that I'm playing in this game, they're major NPCs that are going to have good backstories, etc., because they're going to be reoccurring. Characters that are going to be, doing things more than once. It's not going to be, random barmaid number 75
great.
type thing. I don't need a full background on random barmaid. But if I'm going to be working with this NPC all the time, I definitely want a, something to do with it, something to go along with it, something to help me out, etc. I need some good story. I need some good information. I need personality behind it also. Because if I'm just going to be nothing to the character, well, is it really a memorable NPC then?
Right.
Nestor, have you had any, or have you ever built any?
I've built quite a few actually. Um, I have one that tends to visit every system I run. because he's made an impact not just to me, to my players in the past. And um, I don't think Josh or Ariel have ever met him, but he is one that will be coming into the Daggerheart campaign as well. But one that I did make that I don't think I will be using in Daggerheart because it's now that I look at him like yeah he was a little cheesy, um, but his name was Brass the Myrrh, and I loved Battle Chasers, the comic book back in the days. It was like late '90s, early 2000, and Rastamer was one of these guys that his whole arm, his whole body was covered in tattoos, and the tattoos, um, when he focused his energy, would turn into brass. So he would get like a brass armors, but he was a martial artist. Um, and the guys that I played with hated him because not that he was cheesy and like he just had major abilities, is that they could never hurt him enough because he was built to be the perfect martial artist. So anytime they would try to do something, um, his martial arts would prevent them from doing full damage. Um, and that's just the way the character was built. It was built to deflect and be offensive, but also defensive. So they had to play it smarter, not harder, and that's because I didn't build him to cheese the characters. I built them because they were so powerful at a point physically that they weren't using their brains.
Gotcha.
They were using all their martial abilities of like, well, I punched a guy in the face and so on and so forth. And but now this is a guy that humbles them where they're like, okay, we need to find a better way to stop him besides hitting him with our weapons because it wasn't working.
He gonna
Um,
give no dams.
Yeah, like one guy he had a magic shield that he kind of became like Captain America. So he would like throw the shield, and the guy had the ability to not only catch the shield, but he would reverse the attack on him. So he would catch the shield and like flip in the air and toss it right back. Um, and he would do the same. If it hit, it hit. Whatever. I would roll, maybe miss. It happened, but it opened the eyes of the players. Um, and I have a catalog of NPCs that I'm like, I like him. How can I make him in D&D, or how can I make him in uh, Tales of the Valiant, and so on and so forth? That he is like you said, memorable, and it's always for me the entrance. The bad guy's entrance has to be epic. Like, think what music this guy, Megamind, like Megamind, you know, what music is he coming out to? Like, and I think of the same as my player character. Like, I had a Drow, and he came out in my mind to Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
I could see that.
And he had a warhammer, and he had like lightning abilities, and like coming out to Thunderstruck by AC/DC is just that's how he would make an entrance.
That's how
um
he rolls.
that's how he roll. Exactly. Presentation, yes, Shadow, presentation is key. Like, you're a villain, I'm a super villain, like that type of presentation. um I would have the last game, Ariel's dad was he became possessed by the armor of Strahd, and so now Strahd is slowly taking over her father. The It was the presentation of how it he flipped from being her dad to Strahd, like the way his mannerisms changed and the way his voice changed. I can't do a Transylvanian accent to save my life, but I attempted it, and like you could hear the pitch and tone change, and you see his face also change. And then they realize that is no longer the person they first started talking to. It is now someone more.
Yeah.
Um, and when you hear your player characters go like, "Oh shit," you've done your job. Even if one of them says it, it's enough for you to be like, "Okay, I've done the entrance that I wanted." They can beat them up. They they can they can do whatever, but it's memorable enough, and that it could be the little things. It could be, like I said, the walking into the room, the the slaughtering of an entire village just to prove a point, finding for the player characters, and that's his entrance. Like the you turn around, the village is on fire, and you just see a lone person in the middle of the village, dropping the body of the mayor from his throat and blood dripping from his face. Like that's an eye-opening experience. And like I said, the entrance and the presentation is all that matters to me.
Yeah. There's a lot to say for one of the things that I do in my games is I want my bad guys to be hated.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want my bad guys to be, oh, let's redeem him. No, this motherfucker's a bad guy to be a bad guy.
No, fuck that asshole.
Yeah.
He's gonna die.
Yeah. I,
I've
I,
never
I want my players to be like that.
I've never had players try to redeem an NPC. Maybe I've never given them the chance, but I think I make, like you and I have both said, we're cut from the same cloth. I've never given them a chance. I make this bad guy look like a bad guy.
I want you to go, that motherfucker, every time you
Yep.
hear, intro music or whatever, moniker of who they are.
Those motherfuckers killed Ludo and now they have to die.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
That's what I
like,
want. I want y'all to go, mm-mm, yeah, mm-mm,
yep.
nope, we ain't doing that type thing. And I want them to make sure that they know that too. Whether it's, whatever he's done, whatever they've done, it is that motherfucker must die. Because if you don't, then I'm not doing my job right. If you're not hating the bad guy, I must be doing something wrong.
Yeah. That's a big thing.
Do
That
your
is a
job
very
better, Gonzo.
yeah.
Okay.
Like, are you even trying at that point? Like, as
Someone will die
Mizzy
next
will,
section.
as Mizzy messages me, I think I opened up a Pandora's box. I'm in trouble. Help
I'm
me!
in
I'm in
danger.
yeah, exactly. I'm in danger.
Yeah, there's when I was running the Star Wars game, there was the Screech from the Sith. And when they knew that Screech was around, they were like, "Oh shit!" And they knew immediately what that sound was. They immediately knew everything about it, and they would go, "Oh, we're not in the right place. We need to get out of here." Or the music or whatever would come through, and they would knew that they were in trouble. Or a certain color would appear, or you name it. It was not good. My Daggerheart one just started, and they've already named. I've already done some pretty evil stuff with the NPCs that are being in the game, and they've already said that bitch, that asshole.
Yeah, yeah.
Them
It's
motherfuckers.
yep. I and the thing was is that as I'm building the the campaign in my mind, or even I don't want to say campaign. I'm building it by season, by seasons. It's a TV show in my mind. I'm the director. I'm going to go ahead and direct this one part episode or 2 or 3 part episode. Um, kind of like the original Law and Order was episodic, right? It didn't. It was the crime of the week, um, and then you get to the current Law and Order, organized crime, where it's like it's episodic, where there's the criminal of the week, but it has a longer story and
An
a back,
overarching story,
right,
yeah.
an overarching story, and I love that as much as I love the episode of the week. Or comic books, they do the same thing. They'll have a a villain of the month, right? So it's like it's Magneto uh, versus the X-Men. Yes, we've seen it hundreds of times. Doesn't matter. It's still awesome.
Yes.
But then there is a background story of Cyclops and whoever trying to do whatever to save X amount of mutants. And that's what I also like. That has always captivated me. So, um, I the way I plan a session normally is like, okay, this is the episode of the overall story, and then the season ends with, you know, uh, a cliffhanger, or it doesn't end on a cliffhanger. Um, and the NPCs are just that. The NPCs make a difference. Um, you can get an NPC that shows up for one episode, and they make that captive. They captivate the audience, and then the audience likes that NPC so much. The director and the writers have no choice but to reintroduce that NPC later on. Uh, and you can tell that by your player characters. If your player characters interact with the NPC who you thought was just going to be a throwaway, but they interact with them so well, and by for some instance that NPC survives, or even dies, and then makes a captivates the audience, um, by progressing the story further. That's what I enjoy as much as the NPCs. Um, being hated on. It's also what impact do they make on the player characters in just their first appearance. Um,
Hmm.
oh yeah, Brie, like Monica and Chandler's relationship in Friends, yeah, because it was supposed to be just a one, like a one night, one and done in London, and it ended up being like the focal point of the rest of the next season, where they're trying to hide it from Ross. Gonzo, what green is that? Is that like a forest green?
That is orc skin.
Okay. Yeah, it's got that leaf color green. Yeah.
Yeah, really bright green leaf.
Did you use that on your elves for Warcraft?
I think I did. I took pictures of all the colors that I was using. Oh, actually, no, I
Barons.
didn't. I used woodland camo. Didn't use that green.
Oh, nice. Baron's Baron message says we we got Bree talking about friends, and she replies back, I can make parallels. And to make parallels on friends to this day is still awesome. So I kind of feel that.
Cannot argue with it at all.
I mean, how long has it been off the air? Like 20 years?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so Baron's like, you don't live with her. My daughter does parallels on Friends ever since she saw the host show. So, but yeah, I don't live with my daughter full time either. So yeah, we're good.
I think you'll be fine. I think you're overreacting and you just need to calm down.
Yeah, then you got like super evil NPCs that I like to have that are just like Yeah, they're gonna make your life a living hell no matter what you do,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
constantly do it too.
Yeah, yeah, and like the Indiana Jones and his opposite in the Raiders of the Lost Ark, where he took the statue from Indy only because he spoke Mojito or whatever the language was. Like it makes a difference when the bad guy is so hated every time you see him on the screen, like or you see him in the story.
Mhm.
Even mentioning that person's name and you watch your player characters roll their eyes or like, deep breath or like that son of a it's I feed off of that because you're just making me more powerful at that point. Like I'm gonna use him next time. Um, or they succeed and you find out that you really didn't succeed. Because the bad guy did something sneaky in the back. Uh, that's even worse when the bad guy is so sneaky that it takes away from the player character's victory, even if it's a big victory, and it's a minor inconvenience. Like you find out he stole a book, and you're like, "Oh, he got the book. This is BS."
Just because it came up in chat, I do want to mention that I am wearing my Akuna Matata shirt, and it's a great piece of advice for everyone to follow.
Yeah, someone dropped that on me and uh earlier this week. Like I said something, he's like Akuna Matata. I was
The hell, you fucking high?
like you did that? Drop that on me? Like okay, cool. Like, means no, and then to start singing it in the middle of work. It's just the best.
As one do.
Yep.
That's how this works.
Xanatos. From Gargoyles? Shadow? If that's Xanatos from Gargoyles, he was epic. He was an epic villain. He was an epic, and it's Jonathan Frakes, right? So it's William Riker from Star Trek being a total
Oh
jerk
yeah.
in a cartoon,
Yep.
and then Marina Sirtis plays an evil gargoyle, like, and then I think Worf, Michael Dorn played another character as well. I was like, this is like, I'm waiting for Brett Spiner. I'm waiting for like the rest of the Star Trek Next Generation team to show up on Gargoyle. But yeah, Jonathan Frakes, that is such a good parallel. Like Xanatos. He was like you hated him and you just wanted to punch him, but he made the gargoyles better. He he just made the gargoyles better, like better characters.
Yeah. Weak bad guys. No, can't do it. Can't do weak bad
Yeah.
guys. Weak bad
No,
guys
I
annoy the
can't.
shit out of me.
Shadow Gargoyles was actually Star Trek Next Generation holodeck program. I
Yeah.
can see that.
I am
That is,
here for this headcanon.
um, that is awesome. Where Riker gets to let loose every so often. I wish Macbeth was voiced by Sir Patrick Stewart, the character of Macbeth on the TV show. Those are like the little things in like he would have been really good. Um, but yeah, Gargoyles. I remember when Disney Plus first came out, and I was starting to rewatch Gargoyles. Um, because the intro was just epic. It just 90s cartoons had really good intros back in the day.
90s cartoons were really good no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Need a good beige. Gotta move my camera.
How beigey do you want your beige?
I'll find it. I just gotta find it. because I had it at one point. Ooh. Oh, I know which one I can use. I know what I use.
Is it bony matter?
I'm trying to find bony matter. Yeah, because it's
It's a
the bone
great
color. Yeah,
Yep.
because I want a bone color. I just got to find it. I think
I keep thinking,
pallid bone.
what's oh
Yeah, so bony matter is like if you want like clean brown.
Yeah.
But then the pallid bone is more like a yellowy brown color.
Yeah.
And so it gives it that more sick look, which is really nice.
so I still use Xandri dust and Wraithbone as the highlight for Xandri dust, and then uh Deck Tan from Vallejo.
Mhm.
It's my like go-to like bony color, and then bone. Like there's a bone color.
What?
Yeah.
There's an actual bone color?
Yeah, I think Reaper has it. It's like bone, like dark bone, bone, and then light bone.
Nice.
I still have like, and I don't know how these paints last so long. I might have to check some of my Reaper paints, some of the really old ones. There's like 5 or 6 year old paints in there, like maybe older. Actually, no. Let's see. I've been divorced 8 years, so yeah, some of them are like 10 years old.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put that there. So, working on Mother Gaia. Her face and the antlers are going to be this pallid bone, and then dirt is going to be a dark brown, and then of course this will be stone, and then the mushrooms of course will be red, and then I can go around and start doing details on everything.
That's pretty. I really like that pink.
It's really
I like that
bright on
pink a
here.
lot.
I'm going to play with the camera again because that's really bright. It's not supposed to be that bright, but it is a bright pink. It's just not that bright.
Is that the
That is familiar pink.
familiar pink? Yep.
All right,
That's
I'm
the
gonna
one I
switch
thought
over
it
'cause
was.
it is actually 8 o'clock. We got started talking and going through things. We always do.
As nerds do, yeah. That's
Yeah.
a thing.
Get over to our media section. Come here, microphone. Hello, my pretties.
DJ Gonzo in full effect.
Dorks.
If I could drop a freestyle, I would, but I'm not going to.
Oh man, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna be playing a bard, in this game. Yeah, I've already started chat GTPing lyrics to ballads and such. Just quick little songs, yeah.
That's big
Yeah.
surprise. Mizzy's got an awesome surprise face right now.
Yeah. Gonna, I've got some. It's like, give me a battle cry song. Very short, must rhyme. Type
awesome.
thing, so we can have that whenever we're
The
playing.
only battle song you need is "Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns."
I may have to do it and reap stuff off.
And Flight of the Valkyrie, like that's getting into battle. Oh, what I didn't mention, Mizzy, I figured you would like this. The mounts, there are chocobos in this universe. There are chocobos. I had to because I love, like I mentioned, Final Fantasy, and we mentioned the mounts of like the griffins and the hippogriffs and all these other different exotic, but chocobos will and do exist, like the wargs and the horses and such. So
Okay, so what I'm hearing is there is going to be a time where I, the Ribbit, am riding a chocobo.
there is a possibility, yeah.
I'm
And because chocobo farming does exist, right? Like so, but griffins are used like in World of Warcraft, where you do have to go up and like you can rent a griffin and fly to like a different section of the world. Um,
Just
You
let
might
me
get a
ride the
cat.
chocobo. Just let me ride the chocobo.
Let
I
you
don't, I
ride
don't care. I don't care about the griffins. I just want the chocobo.
the chocobo. I'm gonna have you find like a black chocobo with like meteor power, like some craziness.
My main chocobo that I use in Final Fantasy 14 is the black one. So yes, please.
See, there you go. But yeah, no,
I
I
need
like
that.
chocobos, and like I never did a. I wanted to do a D&D Eberron character like that, like just ride chocobos. But sorry, I just figured
Chocobos.
I'd chocobos.
Honestly, this works out because as far as media goes, I don't really have anything because I'm tired. And instead of watching a movie today, I took a nap.
um,
And
I did watch a TV show. I watched the first 3 episodes of Ironheart,
Hmm.
the new Disney show, Ironheart, based off the comic, of course. Blah 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 blah. It was just okay. I don't know if I'm the target audience, but for the most part, it was all right. Um, I'll give it some more. It's going to be a limited episode because it's the build up to Young Avengers. Um, but I'm going to keep going with it, see how it goes, see if it's worth anything. I'm hoping it is because it looks like it could be fun. But for the most part, 2.5 because it's the first 3 episodes. They're still building up to it, and we'll see what happens. So I'm just kind of bummed that it wasn't as fun and as good, but we'll see. We got time to go. Nestor?
Michelle and I saw Five Nights at Freddy's um today because she's never seen it, and we're going to Universal in October, and it's actually one of the themes for one of the like of Universal Studios for Halloween Horror Nights is Five Nights at Freddy's, one of the
Mhm.
themes. So she's never seen it. I love it. So we watched it, and she's like, "This is stupid." But
It is
she's
stupid.
not wrong. But it's kind of like one of those like really cheesy horror movies that you kind of enjoy. And I kind of enjoy it, but it's not Cats. It's nothing has been that bad. Um, yeah, I can't. So it's definitely two space RPs because it's cringeworthy. Um, it's also based on a video game that there is no real lore for. And, like they did not establish it to be like epic storyline. They established it just to be a video game. So yeah.
Mizzy, did you have anything to talk about?
I mean, I watched a lot of Bones because it's a comfort show in this house, and I watched Clarkson's Farm.
Oh yeah, we
That
did. We did watch the season finale of Clarkson
um
Farms.
Jeremy is a hot mess and will continue to be a hot mess until the end of time.
Yeah. Yeah, they said I was looking at it, and they said that next season, after next season, because they're filming it right now, they're going to take a break, and then we don't know when it's going to come back,
Mm-hmm.
or if it does.
Shadow Sword has a recommendation for us is
Yes.
K-pop Demon Hunters. I'm googling it right now, and it looks amazing. And I'm gonna have to find a way to access Netflix since it has decided to be dumb and block my Wi-Fi.
Yep.
Hmm. Interesting.
Gonzo, what else you got?
I watched the series finale of Squid Game. Series finale, not season. Series finale was this week. I think it was like Wednesday or Thursday. So I watched all 6 episodes. Um, man, yeah, it's an ending. Just have to be an ending. I can't spoil it. If
Oh
anybody
wow.
wants us, if anybody wants to know about it, let me know. I will spoil it for you if you want to know how it ended, and how everything went down, and so on and so forth. Because I did watch. There was an after episode, in after it, with the three main characters talking, the director and the two main characters talking about, you know, what went on and everything. And it was good. It ended the way I thought it was going to end. It ended it's a soul crushing ending type thing, but it's kind of, you know,
That's kind
how
of
is
your
it?
thing.
Yeah, it was good. Still had this episode still had, you know, they were trying to find you know, where this place is, who they are, you know, in the program, so on and so forth, and it was there and it happened. um it doesn't disappoint, I'll say that much. It has an ending with an opening, so um if you want to be spoiled, let me know and I'll spoil you. Otherwise, overall, this season was decent. It was like a, you know, like 1.5 to 2. Overall, the entire series, I'd give it a 1. Very solid series. Really enjoyed it. Did leave a mark on a lot of people's, you know, directing and acting careers, and did all that. Because next thing I'm looking forward to is the um, will be the season 2 of Sandman, which will be the series finale also. So waiting for that. Nestor, you got anything?
I started. If you haven't seen already, I started playing Final Fantasy 15. Finally, I bought it like 2 years ago and finally actually opened it up and put it in my PlayStation. I'm very late for that. Um, and
Not
that's
judging you.
because, yep, and that's because Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering came out, which I've not played Magic the Gathering, and like we were talking about, it's got to be like 10 years. Um, I never even played Commander, so that's how far we're talking here. Like I knew Commander existed, never played it. Um, and I was sparked by just like I love Final Fantasy, and I don't care if I play it. I just want the cards just because they look really cool. But then thankfully we have a great community of people who are like, oh, I'm gonna send you cards, or we can play online, or we can play on camera, and I'm like, that's just awesome. That makes me feel really, really. Or we'll play a Gen Con or Adepticon or Nova, or so. I'm like, I guess I need to bring a deck of cards with me. To
Pack your
both connect.
cards
Yep,
for Warfare Weekend.
it sounds that way. It sounds like I'm
Pack your
bringing both.
cards.
It's like bringing in Commander and just the Magic the Gathering deck of. And I'm a purist at heart when it comes to cards like that. I'll just use whatever set is out there. Um, but it was good to because it sparks me watching other Final Fantasy um, games, and that's what I've been watching on and off, uh, and watching people online play on YouTube playing Magic the Gathering Commander. So that was pretty much my week on the off time while planning an adventure. Is let me listen to these people complain about Vivi and its unlimited mana that he can produce, and he's such a broken card. He's so cute because he's so cute and tiny. He's a little black mage, and he's such a broken character. And I'm like, they're gonna nerf him. If they don't nerf him, they will. Um, I don't know how often that happens where they nerf a commander in Magic the Gathering Commander, if ever. Um, or do they break something where they like that limit? You have a limit, but it's eye opening because it's like Commander's supposed to be a fun game. I've heard.
Commander's a
Um,
lot of fun.
yeah,
Bria's like they would
It's easy
ban
to
it.
pick up.
They would ban it before they nerf it, and usually they just ban.
yeah. If they he's such a cool character. So I'm like, if they ban him,
He's an iconic character. You gotta
he
have a
is.
Vivi.
Right, he's like my favorite from Final Fantasy 9. And that's the other thing. Like all the cards are from like Final Fantasy 1 to Final Fantasy 16. But they don't put tactics, they don't put 10-2, they don't put a couple of the other Final
Mhm.
Fantasies. So I'm like there's room to grow. And but anyway, it was just a lot of Final Fantasy YouTube videos and such, and playing Final Fantasy 15, which has been fun, and getting the fingers to get used to playing on a controller.
Something that I just remembered that we watched is also the latest episode of Age of Umbra.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we did watch that.
That there was a
Um,
lot of close calls very early in the game. But it was still good, still fun. I know some people are saying no, there needs to be more death, but maybe there will be.
Why? Why? Why
Well,
there's
so I was
absolutely no.
reading, you know me, I on all the social networks and I'm looking at all this stuff, and a lot of people are like, "This is supposed to be Age of Umbra. People are supposed to die. This is supposed to be, people are supposed to get hurt a lot, and they're hurt a lot." There was at least
Mhm.
2 people that went down, but the thing about Daggerheart is you have a choice of what you do when you die. You can do, you can go unconscious. You can do one final act where you get a full action and the action crits. Um, you can then, or you can go and do, do a dice roll. And if your hope die is larger than your fear die, you come back up and you get to use that and get to, balance out, your stress or your health by what you roll. Um, and people are like, I want to see more people get hurt. Now, Matt did say that if you die in this one, you're done. You don't make a new character or nothing because it's a limited season. Because we're now over halfway through, and he's like, we need more. People are like, I want to see someone die. People want to, because Age of Umbra is supposed to be super, super deadly, but still got to play by the rules. He's still allowing, people to do the death rolls or crit or go unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And people went
But
unconscious
also,
quite a bit.
right, but also they rolled really well,
Yes, they have.
I
and
did.
and we were talking about that yesterday. Is that if you've rolled really well throughout a game, what is the game master supposed to do? Like he can't he if you make a game master tweak the game mid game so you fight harder and you lose a character, it's just bad in my opinion. I can't see that, and I don't think Matt's the game type of game master to do that where he would, oh, they're rolling really well, it but the fan base wants to see Ashley get ripped in half.
Which,
Y-
going through it, he going back to her character death, just a quick one. Um, he tried to use an ability, and he was like, "Wait, I can't because I have to, have a fear to do this." And he attacked everybody. He attacked when just like Ashley's character, and he's using the optional rule that if you double their severe, you take like 4 hit points, and blah blah
Mhm.
or whatever the damage. And she went down because they still hadn't taken a short or long rest, so everybody was hurt. And so I think that's where the danger is he's not giving them a chance to sit down. It's
Yeah,
constant nonstop. And
yeah, it is.
we're sitting there, Mizzy and I are watching it, which even if anybody wants to watch it, Mizzy and I watch it Friday night. I just stream it on Twitch because I have an account, and not stream it on Twitch, stream it on Discord, and we watch it and we talk about it because he's like, oh, he doesn't have a fear. And then somebody rolls with fear. He goes, he's got a fear now. And Matt goes, I have a fear now. Exactly. I was like, he's going to use that ability now because he now has a fear and he's going to
Yeah,
smash everybody.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But you also see him not sit on fear,
Oh, no.
and
Correct.
he does not sit on it. It's not like he's planning long term, where
Mm-mm.
he's like, I want to save 4 fear so I can do this, this. He's like, I'm gonna do fear, and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that.
I'm gonna
I'm
do
gonna
this cool shit right now.
right, and that's more how I roll
Mhm.
in terms like I got a fear, they failed. I'm gonna go ahead and activate this guy, or I got another fear. Um, I'm gonna interrupt because they rolled with fear. I'm gonna interrupt and do this and do that and do this. I don't want to sit on fear
And
because
you're not supposed to.
you're not. Maybe 1 or 2, it can happen, right? Something doesn't give it
Or
the opportunity,
12.
just doesn't show up. Sitting on 12 is just like really bad.
Yeah,
It-
Gonzo, it is.
But if later you're using it, if you're rolling with fear and you bank on it for later, right? but it's not that far later. Like in the beginning of the game, and you bank it for the end of the game. There's some, maybe there's nothing for him to use the fear on. That's the other thing. Like you can only use the fear on certain things. Yeah, I can make a scenario or like an environment show up, and cost me 2 or 3 fear or whatever. But it's just like it's resource management, in my opinion. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to use the fear.
Oh yeah, you should be using the fear no matter what. But I thought the episode was fine. I still think the two newest characters are the best characters in the game. They're the most fun to listen to and to watch. And they're still fun to hear them go off and do stupid stuff. It's fine. I'm not a huge Critical Role fan. I appreciate what they've done. I appreciate all this other stuff. So it's not a big deal. But I'm still want to know what they're going to do after this. Are they going to play Daggerheart? Are they going to do a campaign in Daggerheart? Not a limited series. I want to know if they're going to do a campaign in Daggerheart, because if they do a campaign in Daggerheart, the characters are going to act different. The players are going to change. The story is going to change. I want to know if they're going to do it. Critical Role comes up. Here's a new world. Blah blah blah. That's what I want to see. I want to see if they're going to play. If they're going to do Daggerheart campaign.
Every time a new episode comes up, every time it's posted in a chat, a Facebook group or something, the one comment you always see is, "Are they going to do campaign 4 in the Daggerheart universe?" Right, and it's on the comments on YouTube, and it's in the comments in the Discords and so on. Are they going to do? Did they talk about campaign 4? Did they talk about campaign 4? Are they going to use Daggerheart? Did they? Are they no longer using D&D? And that's ever since Daggerheart was announced. I've seen that that's all that people have been talking about, and as more and more popularity with Daggerheart shows up, that it becomes a constant second question, by the fan base in general.
That's what I want to know. Is I want to know when they're going to do a campaign in Daggerheart, because then I'll get into it a lot more, and it'll be interesting and fun. But gotta wait and see. But overall, it was a fine episode. We'll watch the thing on Friday night. We'll watch Thursday's episode and see what happens. Anybody have any other things they need to talk about? Nope.
I'm good.
All right. Well, let's get out of here. Let's everybody go have a good night. Everybody go be safe. Everybody go play some good games. Work on some new stuff. Get things going. Hopefully, everybody has a safe week, and we will see you next week for another episode. And the week after that, we will do our first session 1. So, for More Than Dice, I'm Gonzo.
I'm Mizzy.
I'm Nessie.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks for listening to More Than Dice, making the world a better, nerdier place, one dumb joke at a time. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. For more nerdy action or to connect with your hosts, check them out on Facebook.com/morethandice and Twitch.tv/more_than_dice. Until next time, stay nerdy, stay proud, and we'll see you soon on the More Than Dice podcast.